The name J.J. Abrams should sound familiar to you by now. He's not only the creator of Lost, he's the man responsible for breathing new life into both Mission Impossible and, of course, Star Trek. Unfortunately, J.J. Abrams hasn't exactly had a Midas touch when it comes to being at the helm of new content. Audiences have been pretty divided about some of his TV shows, like Alias and Fringe, and even though I thought Cloverfield was fantastic, many people don't share my opinion. That's why when I heard Undercovers was a brainchild of Abrams, I absolutely had to watch. The $5 million question, of course, being, do we have another Lost or Star Trek on our hands? Or is this just another Fringe in the making? Undercovers tells the story of a married couple running a mildly successful catering business. Everything is going well until one day, out of the blue, they are paid a visit by an old employer, the United States government. It turns out they were both spies in a previous life, and a mutual agent who connected the two of them together has gone rogue. Because of their distinguished records of service and their relationships with the target, the government wants them to recover the traitorous spy. So husband and wife set off on a trek around the globe to not only recover an old friend, but rekindle the love for a life they left far behind. Undercovers is by no means a bad show, in any sense of the word. Both Stephen and Samantha Bloom are relatively believable characters, and they're played by actors who do a great job. The sets and mysteries worldwide are ambitious, and breathe life into the spy career that these two characters once lived. The action, which is key for a thriller espionage show, is pulled off incredibly well. The big fight scene halfway through the episode was a real pleasure to watch. The music is exotic, and accompanies the globe-trotting nature of the series well. Because of all that, I think the show will really appeal to mass audiences. I think it's going to last a while. There are just two key things that kept me from really enjoying it, however. Early on in the episode, we're introduced to a handler for both Stephen and Samantha. He reveals to us that Stephen is somewhat of a legend in the espionage world, and that the handler has personally studied Stephen's career history. I never mind hearing this information. It's nice to know the characters I'm following have had a laundry list of adventures before I met them. It does give me concern, though. Many times in shows and movies, characters are overpowered. Their extensive training and study in any and all manner of arts, history, and combat makes the weekly mysteries of the show a breeze. We often watch them solve crimes and find clues without so much as breaking a sweat. Some people like this. I, however, am not one of those individuals. When I watch a television show or movie, I want my character to struggle. I want him to be tested. I want the possibility of failure to exist. And sometimes, I want them to fail, because that's how life is. So when I heard the information being exposed that Stephen was a legend, I knew that he might be overpowered. Unfortunately, my hunch was correct. Yes, Undercovers is eye-catching, and it's fun to watch two people who are dangerous and in love run around the world solving crimes. But not once during the episode were they ever pushed. Not once during the episode was something hard for them. From speaking 5 or 6 languages to hacking computers and battling in both armed and unarmed combat, this couple was able to jump any hurdle presented to them. No sweat. This would seem completely unbelievable for even the most seasoned agent, let alone agents who hung up their spy hats for chef's aprons 5 years prior. This not only brings the audience out of the story, it severely detracts from the payoffs in the show. Overpowered characters need overpowered stakes and obstacles. One without the other makes the show boring. When characters are involved in deep moments in television and film, something special happens. The pacing and the music of the program changes. The characters connect, and there's usually some sort of payoff for the audience. Either one character achieves a goal, or they lose it. The character is either rewarded for all the struggles you just endured with them, or they're not. Whatever the case, it's significant and it's tangible. When you have believable characters, the moments matter to us, just as much as they do to the characters. When a show is completely absent of these moments, all of a sudden a vacuum exists. You aren't rewarded, and neither are your characters. Sure, they might get a commendation or a pat on the back, but that doesn't exactly do it justice, does it? In the movies that matter to you, you usually cheer when your favorite character finally gets what they need. This concept appears to be alien to the writers of Undercovers. Now, I'm not saying I'm expecting to stand up and cheer like I did at the end of Rocky during this episode, but I wanted something, anything. I wanted to connect to the characters on some degree more than I wish I could run around the world with my girlfriend and solve crimes. And this vacuum that's left makes me only care that much less. It's not Lost or Star Trek, but I wouldn't necessarily brand it as another Fringe or Alias either. Honestly, I think J.J. Abrams is onto something with Undercovers. And as the season rolls on, I'll probably come back to the table and catch up on a few episodes to see if they've improved on their obstacles and payoffs. As I previously stated, Undercovers has a lot of potential, and I think the show could be around for a while. However, as it's missing some of the key elements of great storytelling, I don't think I'll stick around and wait for brighter skies. And honestly, I don't think you should either.